Hello, in this video we'll be learning how to rotate our model into the correct orientation. Before we continue, we should save our file. We recommend creating a new folder to save so that way if you have to move the file, everything associated with the file moves with it and file linking is not an issue. During these training videos, if you want to undo your last operation or redo, you can do so here. These are also located under the Edit tab. By using our view functions, we can see that our model is not in machine position. Before continuing on, select Top View. Next, we are going to use the Select function. There are four main select functions. Select Entity, which will select any entity that you choose. Select All, which selects all entities. Select Cancel, which will deselect any entity that you choose. And Select None, which deselects all entities. There are more options for select, but for now we'll just focus on using these. Let's start by using Select All. We are now going to go to the Wireframe tab and select the Cross function. With the Cross function, we can specify the length we want, whether we want to create the cross in specific planes or use the current view plane. On page 2, you can select an angle at which you wish to create the cross. We will create this cross on the XY plane with no angle. By creating it on the XY work plane, we can ensure that when we rotate our model to the cross, it will be flat and square. We will then proceed to select the corner of the workpiece by left-clicking. Moving in any direction will extend either the X or the Y length. Moving at a 45-degree angle from both lines is the best way to extend them both. Once you are happy with the length, left-click and the cross will be created square to the XY work plane. Once we have the cross, we will go to the Edit tab and select Rotate Copy. There are two ways to rotate in CAMTool. One is by axis and the other is by center and 2 points. We are going to use center and 2 points. In the bottom corner, CAMTool will tell you hints at what the next operation should be. In this case, it is asking us to select or pick entities. Since our model is already selected when we use Select All, we can go ahead and execute, which will bring us to the next step. There are three ways to execute. One is the middle mouse button, the second is the Go button, located here, and the third is to right-click and select Execute. We will now execute. Looking at the bottom corner, it is asking us for the center of rotation. We can click on the intersection of the cross. This may also say end sometimes. Notice how the message changes to the start point. So let's select the start point of our rotation. We will then select the end point of the rotation. We can now execute to finish the command and our part will now rotate in an axis that CAMTool creates based off the points we just chose. This will bring the first point to line up with the second point. Next, we are going to do the other axis. We can rotate our model into a better position so that we can see the points that we will need to use for the next rotation. We do this by holding down the right mouse button and rotating the model. By rotating to this view, we can see our center point, start point, and end point. First, we will select what we want to rotate. Because we are still selected, we can simply execute. Select the center of our rotation, the start point, the end point, and now we can execute to complete the command. By hitting Top View, we can see our part is now square to our work plane. We can rotate the part 90 degrees to put it into the orientation we will use on the machine. We're going to select Axis, then select what we want to move by executing. Because we are still selected, we can execute to move on to the next step. We can pick the point in which we wish to rotate from. we are going to pick the work datum. If we press and hold the right mouse button, we can rotate the model to a more isometric view. By zooming out, you can see you are presented with the axes that you can rotate around. You can pick any point, but we will pick the Z positive axis. By clicking this arrow, you can reverse the direction of the rotate. Now we will rotate around the Z minus axis. We are now going to change the angle of the rotate to 90 degrees. Then execute. We now have rotated the part into the correct orientation that we wish to machine on. We can use Select None to deselect everything, and we are going to use the Delete function to delete the cross that we made earlier. Delete is located here. We will click the 2 lines of the cross to delete them. Once we are finished, we can right-click and go to Cancel to end the delete command.